Welcome to BookPods. We take the sources you send us, unpack them, and really try to get to the core of what matters.
Cutting through the noise, as you say.
Exactly. And today, you've given us a great set of materials, thoughtful reviews, video essays, detailed discussions, all focusing on George Orwell's 1984.
A heavyweight, for sure. It's amazing how much analysis is still generated by that book.
It really is. So our mission today is to unpack its core messages. We're talking about the chilling predictions, the fundamental ideas, and just how startlingly relevant it still feels today.
Almost prophetic, some might say. We'll need to look at how that society works, the psychological games.
Right, the psychological warfare. And ultimately, what was Orwell really warning us about?
Yeah.
Regarding things like critical thinking, individual freedom.
It's going to be quite the exploration, hopefully plenty of those aha moments along the way.
Let's hope so.
Okay.
Let's set the stage. 1984, published 1949, set in this future London now called Airstrip 1, part of Oceania.
And it's often called, the dystopian novel in Western literature, a real touchstone.
Absolutely. A classic that just keeps hitting home.
And what's crucial, something the sources really bring out, is Orwell wasn't just making this up out of thin air. He was looking directly at Stalin's Russia, Hitler's Germany.
So it's grounded in real-world horror.
Precisely. He distilled those observed realities. That's why it feels so visceral, so plausible, even now. And at the center, you have the party.
This all-powerful entity.
Totally dominant. And its figurehead, the face you see everywhere, Big Brother. The ideology is English socialism, but it's really about absolute obedience, total control, every single aspect of life.
And our way in is Winston Smith. He works for the party, ironically, in the Ministry of Truth.
Which does anything but deal in truth.
Exactly. His job is to rewrite old newspaper articles, historical records. Basically, whatever the party needs the past to have been today.
It's literally erasing history, constantly manufacturing a new past based on that terrifying slogan.
Who controls the past? Controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. It's dizzying. Imagine living like that, where your own memories are just invalidated.
And you've got no proof otherwise. That's the key. And this control, it's enforced through just inescapable surveillance, telescreens everywhere.
In your home, out in public.
Blasting propaganda, but also watching you, listening 24/7. There's no privacy, none. Everyone's potentially an informant. Paranoia is just baked into the system.
And then there's the thought police.
Ah, yes. Even more insidious. These aren't just about catching actions. They're hunting for thoughts. Unapproved thoughts, rebellious ideas, thought crime.
Just thinking something wrong gets you in trouble.
Exactly. And the sources mention even a flicker in your eyes, a nervous tick. That could be enough. It's terrifying. Your own mind isn't safe.
Which leads us perfectly into the deeper tools, the psychological ones, starting with language itself, with Newspeak.
Right. One review called it a kind of castrated English, which I think is a pretty vivid description.
It really is. And the point isn't just simplification, is it?
Not at all. It's designed specifically to eliminate words, to narrow down meanings until rebellious thoughts become literally unthinkable.
Because you just don't have the words for them anymore.
Precisely. Orwell even put that appendix in the book explaining it, showing how crucial it was to the party's whole system. It's about controlling the building blocks of thought.
And this destruction of language enables probably Orwell's most famous concept, doublethink.
Oh, absolutely. And this is more than just hypocrisy. It's the actual mental discipline to hold two completely contradictory beliefs in your mind simultaneously.
And accept both of them.
Yes, without any sense of conflict. Like the party slogans, war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength.
Those iconic lines.
They perfectly capture it.
Yeah.
The sources stress this isn't just a mental trick. It's the absolute destruction of reason, of critical thinking.
It forces you to accept lies as truth, or that opposites are the same thing.
It's how they rewrite reality itself, not just history. Reality becomes whatever the party says it is. It's built on an illusion.
And, this idea of a world based on fiction, our sources connect this to older ideas, too, like Plato's noble lie.
Right, a myth to justify the social structure. But one analysis really digs into this concept of the habitatus.
The habitatus. Explain that a bit.
Think of it as like the shared social programming, the unspoken rules, beliefs, norms. the collective illusion of how the world works that shapes a culture.
Okay, like the operating system of society.
Exactly. And the argument is that the party in 1984 didn't just control people, it fundamentally cracked and warped this entire habitatus from the top down.
Poison the well, basically.
Utterly. So objective truth just dissolves. Reality is purely a party construct.
Because if you control the habitatus and enforce doublethink, you wipe out memory. You wipe out the ability to even recognize truth.
That's the horrifying effectiveness. If 2 plus 2 can equal 5 because the party says so, then what ground do you have left to stand on? How can you possibly resist?
Fiction becomes fact, the ultimate fact.
Undeniable.
But even in this nightmare, that human spark, that will to resist,
Yeah.
it does flicker, right, with Winston.
Absolutely. We see his journey. He starts questioning, noticing the contradictions, just thinking for himself that's his crime.
His thought crime. And then there's Julia.
Right. He first thinks she's, a super loyal party member, but she turns out to be this radical contrarian.
Yeah.
Their relationship isn't just personal.
It's a political act, a desperate grab for real human connection.
And some analyses really pick up on how Orwell uses eroticism, that physical connection, as a kind of political sabotage.
Sabotage, how so?
Because it's primal, it's instinctive, it's something that the party wants to crush entirely. All pleasure, joy, intimacy.
So their affair is fundamentally anti-party.
Definitely. It's a biological defiance against the system that wants to stamp out individual desire, a reclaiming of humanity.
But the party, their response is just brutal.
Yep.
Sophisticated but brutal. They don't just want obedience.
No, they want to break you, annihilate yourself, and then, the final twist, make you love Big Brother.
Which brings us to the Ministry of Love and Room 101.
Room 101, the stuff of nightmares. Literally. They confront you with your absolute worst fear. For Winston, it was rats.
To shatter you completely. Your will, your identity.
Everything. It's not about getting you to obey, it's about conversion. They inflict unbearable pain, then remove it.
Creating this twisted gratitude.
Exactly. It's psychological alchemy. It makes the victim genuinely, pathologically love the source of their pain and relief. The sources really highlight how terrifying Orwell's message is here. Everyone has a breaking point.
Under enough pressure, he'll betray anything, anyone, just to make it stop.
A chilling look at human fragility.
And it all leads to that ending, just devastatingly bleak. Winston and Julia, broken, their love gone. And they learn to love Big Brother.
It's abysmal. No Hollywood ending here.
No, it really underscores the party as this uniquely horrifying villain. They don't care about prosperity or well-being, just power.
Pure power for its own sake. As O'Brien says, power isn't a means, it's the end.
So, connecting this to today, Orwell's vision, it doesn't feel like just history, does it? The sources say it feels terrifyingly plausible, maybe even eternal.
The tech, for sure. Telescreens look a lot like our CCTVs, smart speakers.
Sensitive microphones everywhere.
But it's more the methods of control, the psychological manipulation, the enforcement. That feels timeless, sadly.
Which raises that big question about surveillance now. Digital privacy. We worry about our data being sold, identity theft, AI watching us online.
And one source points directly to China's social credit system as a real-world echo. Algorithmic control dictating your travel, your education, your life, based on compliance.
It's Big Brother gone digital almost.
Uncomfortably close, yeah. And then there's the unpersoning and rewriting history.
Yeah.
We see parallels drawn in the sources to current issues, too.
Things like cancel culture, censorship concerns, governments potentially working with social media to shape narratives.
And that really disturbing point one source made about a UK report allegedly flagging reading 1984 itself as a sign of potential extremism.
Wow. That's meta.
Isn't it? Alongside things like editing classic kids' books. It feels like modern attempts to control the narrative, sanitize thought, kind of like a soft newspeak.
And what about economic control? The party kept people poor and dependent.
Right, and the sources connect this to discussions around the Great Reset agenda ideas floated by groups like the World Economic Forum.
Things like carbon taxes, reducing livestock, that phrase, you'll own nothing and be happy.
Yeah. The analysis isn't just about the economics itself, but the potential, according to these sources, for dismantling private ownership and individual autonomy, which was key to the party's power.
And central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
Also brought up, the concern voiced in some sources is that they could allow governments unprecedented control over your money, cut off funds instantly if you don't comply.
A digital leash, essentially.
That's the fear expressed, turning finance into another layer of surveillance and control, echoing the party's total grip on Winston.
And on a personal level, the book shows society breaking down, people becoming totally isolated.
Which sources link to modern tech? Social media, short-form video, how they can exploit dopamine, create these fake parasocial relationships instead of real ones.
Leading to apathy.
Depression.
Flaccid apathy was one phrase used. And that statistic about young men being increasingly single and alone, it echoes Winston's initial isolation. Makes you wonder if a distracted, disconnected population is easier to control.
It's a lot to think about. Then there's the perpetual war.
Ah, yes, the party's logic. Constant war, shifting enemies. It keeps people unified in fear and dependent on the party for safety.
Even if the enemy changes overnight.
Exactly. The sources note the uncanny parallels some see in real politics, enemies becoming friends, alliances shifting constantly. The war isn't meant to be won, it's meant to be continuous.
A manufactured state of crisis.
Precisely.
But amidst all this grimness, Orwell uses nature, doesn't he, as a symbol?
He does. The woods, the sun, animals, they represent freedom, truth, real connection. A stark contrast to the decaying city.
Like nature is the last place Big Brother can't fully corrupt. Almost, yeah. A reminder of something real and untainted.
Beyond the warnings, though, we have to mention Orwell's writing. It's brilliant.
Oh, incredibly so. Concise, powerful, almost poetic sometimes. The sources praise how he focuses on the human experience, the psychology, not just the sci-fi tech.
Which makes it feel so personal, right? Even on this huge canvas.
Definitely. And when you compare it to, say, Brave New World.
Another classic.
Right. But 1984 often hits harder, feels more gut-wrenching, because Orwell's party isn't about pacifying people with pleasure like Huxley's society. It's about inflicting pain, breaking the spirit, destroying pleasure entirely.
Which makes it, as one source called it, a true political horror story. The party is just this ultimate antagonist.
Absolutely, aiming for the total destruction of the soul.
And his genius with doublethink, it even infects how you read the book, doesn't it? That ambiguity.
Totally. You're constantly questioning motivations, reality, even within the narrative itself. It makes you grapple with how unstable truth can be. It's incredibly clever.
So, given all this, how do we resist? What are the pathways to freedom the sources suggest?
Well, interestingly, one point made is that just reading the book is an act of rebellion. In Oceania, old books are forbidden.
Huh. So picking it up is already pushing back.
In a way, yes. It's about engaging with dangerous ideas, awakening consciousness.
And one source brought in a really deep philosophical idea from the Book of Job.
Yeah, that was fascinating. Job's story, suffering, questioning God, but ultimately growing through it, gaining deeper consciousness.
So the idea is we shouldn't just run from pain or difficulty.
Exactly. That maybe facing the dark realities, the burdens, is actually necessary for growth, instead of just seeking easy pleasure, empty pursuits that numb us.
Which ties back to Orwell's core message, perhaps, about critical thinking.
I think so. The sources really converge on this. True freedom is the freedom to think for yourself, to question.
To demand the right to say 2 + 2 = 4, even if the world screams 5.
Yes. To study those dangerous ideas, to follow Orwell's advice. Don't trust anybody in politics. Insist on your individual dignity. Trust your gut.
Reject the easy narratives.
And maybe even embrace the struggle, the chaos, pain, and sorrow as part of what makes us human and helps us grow, rather than just accepting a comfortable numbness. It's about fighting for your own soul.
So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for us? 1984 isn't just history. It's like holding up a mirror, isn't it?
A very stark mirror to our present, and maybe a glimpse into a potential future.
We've seen how easily information, language, even our own minds can be manipulated. It really makes you think.
The question isn't just, can we avoid tyranny? It might be deeper. Can we ever escape the subtle politics shaping our reality and truly be free?
Maybe freedom isn't about having no challenges. Maybe it's about the act of thinking, the courage to question, to insist on our own dignity.
Even when everything seems designed to make us forget it, to make us comfortable with the lies.
So the final thought for you listening, what will you do with this awareness?